I'm your host, and today I am bringing out my absolute deepest, most resonant radio voice, because we really need to match the sheer, terrifying gravity of what we're about to uncover. We are traveling back 4.5 billion years into deep time to witness the incredibly violent birth of our Earth-Moon system. And look, this isn't just a story about rocks in space. This is a literal planetary murder mystery that explains exactly why you and I are here today. So let's dive right into it.
You have never experienced true solidity. I know, bold statement right out of the gate, but I kind of want to shatter this illusion of a stable foundation we all walk around with. The ground you're standing on right now, the concrete foundations of your cities, the granite of the highest mountains, it is all just a temporary arrangement of atoms. If we roll the clock back to the Hadean Earth 4.5 billion years ago, your solid world was an absolute molten nightmare.
Because if you were standing exactly where you are right now back then, well, you'd be incinerated in a heartbeat. We're talking a surface temperature of nearly 2,000 degrees Celsius. There was no crust, absolutely no oceans, and definitely no breathable air. Instead, imagine this hostile, roiling sea of liquid rock, radiating a hellish orange glow into a toxic sky that's completely choked with vaporized stone.
And to make things even more chaotic, the early Earth was spinning at a terrifying breakneck speed. A full day lasted a mere 5 or 6 hours. But as completely hostile as that liquid ground was, the greatest terror wasn't actually beneath you. It was up above. In that Hadean sky, a second sun was rising. But it wasn't a star. It was impending doom.
Part 1. A planetary murder mystery.
So I'm putting on my deep time detective hat here. For eons, we told ourselves a very simple, comforting story, right? That Earth was just this solitary traveler in the void. But the rocks remember a completely different truth. Our world is actually the fused remains of 2 planets. Let me introduce our suspect. This is Theia, a Mars-sized protoplanet, roughly 10% of Earth's mass. It's perfectly named after the Greek Titan, who was the mythological mother of the Moon. 4.5 billion years ago, our solar system was this chaotic laboratory of accretion, and Theia was a sibling world sharing that early space with us.
Now, what's really fascinating is where Theia actually grew up, a Lagrange point. This is essentially a stable gravitational pocket in space where objects can maintain a delicate orbital equilibrium. For millions of years, Theia just grew peacefully right there. But in a universe governed by gravity, equilibrium is a total fantasy. Gravitational nudges from giant planets like Jupiter and Venus eventually pulled Theia out of its stable pocket and sent it hurtling directly toward Earth.
Part 2. 60 Minutes of Fire. Okay, prepare yourself for a terrifying minute-by-minute breakdown of literally the most violent collision in our solar system's history. 36,000 kilometers per hour. That is the incomprehensible approach velocity of this Mars-sized intruder. Just imagine looking up into the sky and seeing a monstrous, cratered sphere growing larger by the second, completely dominating the heavens.
Let's methodically walk through this timeline because it's wild. At T-minus 10 minutes, Theia covers 50 degrees of your entire field of vision. T-minus 1 minute, the gravitational pull between the 2 bodies is so incredibly intense that magma and solid crust tides rise up by hundreds of meters. T+0, Theia delivers an oblique 45-degree glancing blow. The contact point hits 50,000 degrees Celsius, which by the way is hotter than the sun. And by T+10 minutes, the sheer scale of the gravitational tearing is complete. Theia's heavy iron core literally plows through Earth's molten layers and sinks down to merge with our own core.
And, well, Theia does not survive this. The intruder is vaporized just instantly into a white-hot plasma. We are talking about an energy release equivalent to trillions of nuclear weapons detonating simultaneously across the Earth's mantle. It is a level of destruction that nearly deleted Earth from the solar system entirely.
In the immediate aftermath, this massive debris ring of molten rock and vaporized silicates stretched out into space. Now, we used to think the moon took millions of years to form, but new simulations show that because the material was liquid and super sticky, it coalesced in mere hours or days, and it was born just 15,000 kilometers away. That giant, glowing orb of lava hung in our toxic sky, appearing 30 times larger than the moon you see today.
Part 3. The deep time evidence.
So you might be wondering, how can we possibly know the exact details of a planetary car crash from 4.5 billion years ago? Well, the smoking gun actually lies in oxygen isotopes. That's the unique chemical fingerprint of where a celestial body forms. When Apollo astronauts brought back lunar samples, scientists checked these isotopes. And guess what? Earth's mantle and the lunar samples have completely identical ratios. This proves the moon is not just some random captured asteroid. It is literally made of Earth's flesh and the reassembled debris of our outer layers.
But get this, the most haunting evidence was actually discovered deep underground. Seismic sensors have picked up two massive, continent-sized blobs of dense, chemically distinct rock buried 2,900 kilometers beneath your feet, specifically under Africa and the Pacific. Scientists now firmly believe these are the actual, solid corpses of Theia. The literal remains of the intruder planet are resting deep inside our own.
Part 4. The Midwife of Life. Now, it's pretty easy to view all of this entirely as a tragedy of cosmic proportions, but we really need to shift our perspective and understand exactly what this dead sibling gave us. We are transitioning from catastrophe to a profound realization. This violent impact actually created the cradle for all living things. When Theia's core merged with ours, it supercharged our geodynamo, giving us the powerful magnetic field that stops Earth from being a radiation-blasted desert like Mars. The moon's gravity acts as a gyroscope, stabilizing our axial tilt and giving us predictable seasons instead of these wild, chaotic temperature swings.
And that brings us to you. Every single molecule in your body traces back to a tidal pool that was powered by a giant moon. 4 billion years ago, the moon was much closer, right? Dragging kilometer-high tides across the continents twice a day. This wet-dry cycling in tidal pools acted as a chemical ratchet, concentrating organic molecules and basically sparking the very first self-replicating cells.
But our cosmic arrangement isn't permanent. 3.8 centimeters. That is a very sobering number, honestly. That's the exact rate at which the moon is currently receding and abandoning us every single year. Billions of years from now, it will be just a tiny speck in the sky, and its stabilizing hand will be gone forever.
Dominance is an illusion. Permanence is a fantasy. Let the gravity of that temporary, incredibly lucky cosmic arrangement really sink into your mind. We are living in a Goldilocks moment, purely because of a 60-minute collision of titans. And that brings us to the end of this explainer. I really want to leave you pondering your own profound connection to this ancient collision. As the moon slowly abandons us, how did it act as a midwife for your life today? Next time you look up at the night sky, just remember, you carry the core of one planet and the mantle of another right in your very bones. Thanks for joining me today, and keep questioning the world around you.
If you enjoyed this journey through deep time, like, share, and subscribe, and join us